I found the jacket, and it wasn't mine. The jacket shouldn't have meant anything. But the moment I touched it, I knew something had already shifted. It was hanging on the back of her kitchen chair, sleeves folded inward like someone had done it carefully, like they cared how it rested. Dark brown leather, soft at the elbows, too big to be mine, too familiar not to belong to someone who mattered. I stood there longer than I needed to, keys still in my hand, listening to the low hum of her refrigerator and the distant traffic outside her apartment. The place smelled faintly of coffee and laundry detergent. Something warm, something lived in. It always did. That was part of the danger. I was 26. I reminded myself of that like it was a rule that might save me. She was in her mid-40s, maybe a little older, though she never said it directly. She didn't need to. Everything about her carried time. Confidence worn smooth, patience that had learned when to speak and when not to. The way she moved through rooms without apologizing for the space she took. "Did you find it?" she asked from the hallway. Her voice wasn't loud. It didn't need to be. It had a way of settling into me, like it expected to be there. I said, still staring at the jacket. I found a jacket. She appeared in the doorway, hair loose, one sleeve of her sweater pushed up her forearm. She stopped when she saw what I was holding. Not dramatic, just still. "Oh," she said. A pause. There it was. The space between words where everything lived. I hadn't meant to notice her the first time we met. That was the lie I told myself. She was just someone I helped out occasionally. Errands, lifting things, fixing what her landlord ignored. It started practical. It stayed that way on the surface. But the surface got thin. She crossed the room and took the jacket from my hands. Our fingers brushed. Not an accident. Not entirely on purpose either. Her hand was warm. Mine tightened before I could stop it. "It's not yours," I said too quickly. She smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. "Good observation." I laughed a little too loud. I just thought maybe I'd left something." "You don't usually forget things," she said. That felt like something else. Like she'd been paying attention longer than she let on. She draped the jacket over her arm instead of putting it away. Didn't explain. Didn't rush. Just leaned against the counter and watched me like she was waiting to see what I'd do with the silence. I looked anywhere but at her. The clock. The window. The half-empty mug on the table, coffee gone cold. My chest felt tight in that quiet way that comes before a mistake. "Someone special?" I asked, hating myself for asking. Her mouth opened, then closed. She shook her head once. "Someone from before." "Before what?" She didn't say. I nodded like that was enough. Like it didn't sit heavy in my stomach. Like I hadn't imagined that jacket on another man's shoulders and felt something sharp and embarrassing twist inside me. She stepped closer, not touching, close enough that I could smell her perfume, something subtle, almost gone. "You don't have to stay," she said. "But you didn't ask me to leave." Her eyes lifted then. "Met Mina. Held too long." "No," she said quietly. "I didn't." The doorbell rang. We both startled, the moment breaking like glass. She looked toward the door. I didn't, because suddenly I knew whatever waited on the other side wasn't just a visitor. It was the beginning of something we wouldn't be able to fold away. The doorbell rang again, longer this time, impatient. She didn't move. Neither did I. Finally, she exhaled and set the jacket down on the counter like it weighed more than leather should. "It's probably nothing," she said, but she still smoothed her sweater, still checked her reflection in the dark window before opening the door. It was a delivery. Groceries she'd forgotten she ordered. Relief passed across her face, so fast she probably thought I didn't see it. She thanked the guy, signed, closed the door, and leaned her forehead against it for half a second too long. "That happens a lot," I said. She turned. "What?" Bracing yourself before opening doors. A corner of her mouth lifted. "You notice too much." I shrugged. Occupational hazard. I didn't tell her that noticing her had become a reflex. The way her shoulders tensed when her phone buzzed. The way she never talked about the years between her marriage and now. The way she said before like it was a locked room. We carried the groceries to the kitchen together. Our movements overlapped awkwardly, like we hadn't decided what we were to each other yet. I reached for the same bag she did. Our hands collided. She didn't pull away this time. "Careful," she said softly. "Yeah," I replied, though neither of us moved. She was close enough that I could see the faint lines at the corner of her eyes. They weren't flaws. They were evidence of laughing, of staying too long in conversations, of surviving something. "You know this is complicated," she said. "I know," I said immediately. "Too fast." She looked at me then, really looked. "Do you?" I swallowed. I thought about my parents, how my mom still talked about appropriate timelines, about how my friends teased me for always hanging out here instead of dating someone my own age, about the fact that she'd once known me when I was just a kid who helped her carry boxes upstairs. "You were married," I said, not a question. "Yes." "And he gone," she said. "Not dead, just not here anymore." Her fingers tightened around the grocery bag. "That was years ago, but not far enough," I said quietly. She nodded. "Exactly." The taboo sat between us without a name. The years, the history, the way people would look, the way she'd already lived a life before I'd even figured mine out, the way wanting her felt like skipping ahead in a book I wasn't supposed to read yet. "I try not to think about it," she admitted. "About you. About why it feels easy when it shouldn't." My heart kicked hard against my ribs. "I think about it all the time." She laughed softly, then stopped. "That's what scares me." We finished putting the groceries away in silence. It wasn't awkward. It was loaded, like both of us were holding our breath underwater, waiting to see who would surface first. When I reached for the cabinet, she touched my wrist, just to stop me, just for a second. "Stay," she said. Not loud, not dramatic. I didn't answer. I didn't have to. Her hand was still there when neither of us pulled away. She pulled her hand back like she'd touched something hot. "I shouldn't have said that," she murmured, turning toward the sink. Water ran. Too loud. A shield. I stayed where I was. Leaving felt like lying. "I can go," I said, even though my body didn't move. She shook her head once. "No, she stopped, pressed her palms to the counter. "This is how it starts. Little permissions." I knew what she meant. I also knew I was already past them. My phone buzzed in my pocket. I ignored it. Then it buzzed again. She glanced over her shoulder. "You should check that," she said. I didn't want to break the moment, but I did anyway. "My roommate." "You alive?" "Rent's due tomorrow. Also, your mom called." "Of course she did." I slid the phone back. "Nothing important." "That's a lie," she said gently. "Yeah." I exhaled. "But not the kind that matters right now." She turned to face me. The distance between us felt smaller than before, like the room had quietly leaned in. "I keep thinking about the first time you came over here," she said. "You were still in school. You barely looked at me." "I did," I said. "Just not the way I do now." Her breath caught. Not a gasp. Something quieter. "That's part of the problem," she said. "I remember you before you became this. And I remember you before I knew how lonely you were," I said, then immediately wished I could pull the words back. Her eyes darkened. "Hurt, but not angry. You don't get to know that." "I already do." Silence stretched. Thick. Charged. Then her phone rang. She flinched this time. She didn't answer it at first. Just stared at the screen like it had accused her of something. I didn't need to see the name. I already knew. "He still calls?" I asked. "Only when he's drinking," she said. "Or when he remembers I exist." She declined the call. Her hand shook after. "I don't want to be a secret," I said before I could stop myself. Her head snapped up. "I'm not asking you to be." "But you are," I said. "Just not out loud." She stepped closer. Close enough that if I leaned forward even an inch, it would happen. Her eyes dropped to my mouth. Just for a second. Long enough. "This is reckless," she whispered. "I know. You'll hate me later." "Already don't," I said. That almost did it. Almost. I felt her resolve thin. I felt mine disappear entirely. She reached up, fingers hovering near my jaw, then stopped herself midair. "Let them fall." "I can't," she said. "Not tonight." Guilt flooded her face, quick and merciless. like she'd already failed some version of herself. I nodded because if I didn't, I'd beg. And that felt worse. I should go, I said. She walked me to the door. Stood too close again. Her hand brushed mine, accidental this time. Or maybe not. Don't disappear, she said. I won't, I promised. And meant it in the dangerous way. As I stepped into the hallway, her phone rang again behind me. She didn't answer it, and I didn't turn around, but I knew she was watching the door long after it closed. I didn't plan to come back the next night. That's the lie I tell myself when I'm already halfway down her street, hands shoved in my jacket pockets like I can keep them from knocking. The hallway light outside her apartment flickers the same way it always does, like it's undecided about witnessing what's about to happen. The door opens before I knock. She's not surprised to see me. That hurts more than it should. You said you wouldn't disappear, she says. I didn't, I reply. I just needed air. She steps aside, lets me in. The apartment feels different tonight, quieter, colder. The jacket is gone. The chair is empty. I notice immediately. You moved it, I say. Her shoulders stiffen. I put away. Why? She turns to face me. Because it was starting to feel like a third person in the room. There it is. The crack. I saw him, I say. She blinks. What? Outside the cafe this afternoon. Older guy. Same jacket. My voice stays calm, but my chest doesn't. He waited for you. You didn't see him. Or maybe you did. Her mouth opens, then closes. She exhales slowly, like she's counting backward from something dangerous. You followed me? I walked, I say. You were already there. That's not better. I know. Silence stretches. Heavy. The kind that presses on your ears. He's not what you think, she says. That's the problem, I say. I don't know what to think. 1 minute you're asking me to stay. The next you're pretending there isn't someone who still gets to show up. She winces. He doesn't get to. Then why does he? The words come out sharper than I meant. Why do I feel like I'm waiting in a line you won't admit exists? Her eyes flash. Because you shouldn't be in this line at all. That lands. Hard. I take a step back, then stop myself. Say that again. You're younger, she says, voice shaking now. You still have choices. I don't want to be the reason you make the wrong one. I didn't ask you to decide that for me. She laughs once bitter. You think this ends cleanly? You think people won't talk? That I won't be the woman who should have known better? I think you already know better, I say. You're just scared. Her hands curl into fists. And you're not. I am, I admit. I'm terrified. But I'm also tired of pretending this is one-sided. She looks at me, then like she's seeing the cost written all over my face. I think about you, she whispers. More than I should. In ways that don't let me sleep. My breath catches. But wanting isn't the same as choosing, she adds. I step closer. Close enough that her breath stutters. Then choose. Her eyes drop to my mouth. Stay there. The room feels smaller. Louder. Every nerve awake. She lifts her hand, presses it flat against my chest, right over my heart. It's racing. She feels it. I know she does. This, she says softly, this is the moment that ruins everything. Or starts it, I say. Her fingers tighten in my shirt. She leans in, and the doorbell rings. The doorbell cuts through the room like a blade. She pulls back instantly, hand dropping from my chest as if it never belonged there. Her face drains of color, not surprise this time, recognition. Fear. Don't move, she says, already turning away. Too late. I already know something is wrong. She opens the door just enough to block my view, but I hear the voice immediately. Younger than her. Familiar in a way that makes my stomach drop. Mom, a woman says. Why are you whispering? Mom. The word hits harder than any accusation. She opens the door wider, and there she is. Early 20s, same eyes, same mouth. A backpack slung over one shoulder. She looks from her mother to me, confusion knitting her brows. Oh, she says. I step back instinctively like I've been caught somewhere I shouldn't be. Because I have. You're here late, her daughter says, glancing between us. I thought you said he stopped coming by. Silence crashes down. I look at her. Then at the woman I've been orbiting for months, wanting in ways I never let myself name fully. I ask quietly. Her mother closes her eyes. She means me, I say slowly. Don't you? Her daughter stiffens. Wait, you're the guy from the building. The one who helped with the boxes. I nod. Once. The realization spreads across her face in stages. Recognition, calculation, disbelief. Oh my God, she says. You're him. I don't know what that means yet, but I already hate it. Can we not do this right now? Her mother says, voice tight. The daughter laughs once, sharp. Not do what? Walking on whatever this is. Nothing about this feels imagined anymore. It's exposed. Lit up. Dangerous. I'm going to my room, her daughter says, then stops. Turns back. By the way, Dad called earlier. He's coming by tomorrow. Said it was important. That lands like a delayed explosion. Her mother's shoulders sag. Not with relief. With resignation. The daughter disappears down the hall. Door slamming hard enough to rattle the frame. Neither of us moves. You should go, she says finally, not looking at me. So it's like that, I say. Now. She nods, slowly. This is why. You knew she might come back. Yes. And you still let me. I stop. Swallow. You still let me get this close. Her eyes finally meet mine. They're wet but steady. Because I'm human. And lonely. And I thought I had more time. Time. Always time. That jacket. I say suddenly. It wasn't his, was it? She hesitates. It was mine, she says. From before. From when I promised myself I wouldn't cross certain lines again. The room feels hollow now. Like something important just stepped out. So what happens now? I ask. She walks toward me, stops just short. Close enough to hurt. Now, she says, voice breaking, we see if this survives daylight. She reaches out, doesn't touch me, then lets her hand fall. Go, she whispers. I turn toward the door, every part of me resisting. Behind me, her bedroom door creaks open just a fraction. I don't look back, because if I do, I don't know who I'll choose that I don't sleep. I sit on the edge of my bed until the room turns gray with morning, replaying the way her hand hovered and fell. The way she said daylight like it was a test we were probably going to fail. I tell myself this is the part where I'm supposed to walk away, quietly, and become a decent memory. Something harmless. By noon, I know I won't. Her message comes first. Just 3 words. Can we talk? I don't answer right away. I let the fear finish its sentence. Then I grab my jacket and go. She opens the door, looking smaller than I've ever seen her. Not weaker, just exposed. Her hair is pulled back, face bare, like she didn't bother armoring herself for this. He came, she says before I can ask. Your ex. She nods. He wanted closure. Or permission. I'm not sure anymore. And I told him I wasn't his safety net. A pause. I told him I was done living half visible. That does something to my chest. Not relief. Respect. Her daughter is out. The apartment feels emptied of witnesses. We stand there, neither of us stepping inside, like we're afraid of repeating the same mistake on different lighting. I didn't tell her, she says. Not everything, but I didn't lie either. What did you say? That you matter to me. The word lands carefully between us. I scared you, I say. Yes, she admits. Because you don't feel temporary. I nod. You scare me too. Because I kept wondering when I'd become something you regret. She steps closer. Not touching. Always that line. I don't regret you, she says. I regret letting fear decide for me for so long. Silence settles. Softer this time. I can't promise you this won't be hard, she continues. People will judge. My daughter will have questions I don't have perfect answers for. Some days I'll feel older than I want to. Some days you'll feel younger than you are. I already do, I say, and she almost smiles. But, she adds, voice steadying, I don't want to keep choosing the version of myself that watches life happen. My pulse is loud in my ears. So what are you choosing? She finally reaches out and takes my hand. Fully this time. No haveling. No retreat. I'm choosing honesty, she says. And I'm choosing you. With my eyes open, I swallow. Then I need to say something too. She nods, bracing. I'm not here to be saved, I say, or hidden. I'm here because I want you, not the idea of you. You, as you are. And if that ever changes, I'll tell you. Her grip tightens. Her eyes shine, but she doesn't look away. Okay, she says. Just that. Like it's a beginning, not a conclusion. We don't kiss right away. We step inside. We sit. We talk about things that scare us. About timelines that don't match and feelings that do. About the mess. About the risk. When we finally do lean in, it's slow. Careful. Earned. Our foreheads touch. Breath mingles. This won't be easy, she whispers. I know, I say, but I don't want easy. She exhales, a sound that feels like surrender and courage at the same time. The door closes behind us, not like an ending, like a choice still unfolding. The first real test comes quietly, not in an argument, not in a dramatic fallout. It comes on a random Tuesday morning when I'm standing in her kitchen, barefoot, coffee burning my tongue because I forgot to wait. Her daughter walks in, stops short, and really looks at us for the first time, not as a suspicion, not as a threat, but as a fact. I brace myself. She doesn't smile. She doesn't yell either. She just says, "So this is real?" Her mother nods. No excuses. No lowering her eyes. Just honesty. Yes. Her daughter studies my face. I let her. I don't rush to explain myself. I don't shrink. After a moment, she exhales, long and shaky. I don't love it, she says. But I see you're not playing games with her. That's not permission. But it's not rejection either. It's a door cracked open. Life doesn't suddenly become simple after that. There are awkward dinners, side glances in public, friends who don't ask questions, and others who ask too many. There are moments when I catch her staring at her reflection, fingers brushing a line near her mouth, and moments when I feel painfully young beside her memories. But there's also laughter that sneaks up on us. Shared routines. Late nights where we talk until the words slow down and honesty takes over. There's the way she reaches for my hand automatically now, without checking who might see. One evening, months later, I find the jacket again. Same one, folded neatly in the closet. I hold it up. This still haunting us. She smiles. A real one this time. No, I keep it to remind myself of who I was when I was afraid. I hang it back carefully, where it belongs. Past acknowledged, not erased. We don't pretend the age gap doesn't exist. We just stop letting it lead. She teaches me patience. I remind her that time isn't something you only lose. Sometimes you gain it by choosing differently. The day I tell my mother is messy, emotional, uncomfortable. The day she tells her friends is quieter, heavier. But we don't back out. Not once. That's the difference. One night, as we're lying together, the room lit only by the city outside, she traces a slow line across my chest and says, "I used to think love was about doing the right thing. And now?" I ask. Now I think it's about doing the honest thing, even when your hands shake. I kiss her then. No hositashchen. No guilt chasing it. The jacket never becomes an issue again. It was never about the jacket anyway. It was about fear, about watching life from a distance, about choosing silence over risk. And this time we didn't. So I'll ask you this. Would you have stayed, knowing it would be hard? Would you have chosen love when fear had better arguments? And if you found the jacket, would you put it back or finally step forward?